Canada is a very large country. It is actually the second largest country in the world by total area, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean in the east all the way to the Pacific Ocean in the west. Its northern border even reaches the Arctic Ocean, which is where the motto "from sea to sea to sea" comes from. This vast land is really known for its stunning natural beauty, with towering mountains, sprawling forests, and honestly, countless shimmering lakes. People often think of Canada as a land of cold winters and lots of snow. And while that's definitely true for many parts of the country, it's also a place of great diversity in its landscapes and climates. The country is home to vibrant, bustling cities and quiet, peaceful towns, offering a wide variety of experiences for everyone who lives there or comes to visit. Before any European explorers arrived, the lands that we now call Canada were home to many different groups of people. These were the First Nations, the Inuit, and the Métis. They are the Indigenous Peoples of Canada. For thousands of years, they lived on this land, developing rich and complex societies. Each group had its own unique language, spiritual beliefs, traditions, and ways of life that were perfectly adapted to the environment around them. They were skilled hunters, fishers, and farmers who had a deep connection to the earth and its resources. Their knowledge of the land was incredible, allowing them to thrive in even the harshest of climates, from the dense forests of the east to the icy tundra of the north. The history of these Indigenous peoples is written in the stories they passed down through generations, in the art they created, and in the names of many places across Canada today. They established complex trade networks that stretched across the entire continent, long before the first ships from Europe landed on their shores. They lived in different types of homes, from longhouses in the east to tipis on the plains and igloos in the Arctic. Their cultures were deeply spiritual, centered on a respect for nature and a belief in the interconnectedness of all living things. The contributions and enduring presence of Indigenous peoples are a fundamental part of what makes Canada the country it is today. Understanding Canada begins with acknowledging this deep history. The story of Canada is not just about its modern cities or famous landmarks. It is a story that started long ago with the first people who called this land home. Their legacy continues to shape the country's identity, influencing its art, its culture, and its ongoing conversations about history and reconciliation. As we explore the many facets of Canada, from its government to its geography, it is important to remember the foundational role of the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Their history is Canada's history, and their story is a vital thread in the nation's fabric. The story of modern Canada began to change in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, when explorers from Europe crossed the Atlantic Ocean. French explorer Jacques Cartier was one of the first to arrive in 1534, claiming the land for France. He sailed up the St. Lawrence River and established early contact with the Indigenous peoples. Following him, Samuel de Champlain founded Quebec City in 1608, which became the heart of a new colony called New France. The French colonists were mainly interested in the fur trade, which was a very profitable business. They formed alliances with some indigenous nations, like the Huron-Wendat, to help them gather valuable beaver pelts to send back to Europe. This period established a strong French presence in the region. At the same time, England was also interested in North America. English explorers like John Cabot had reached the coast of what is now Newfoundland as early as 1497. The English established their own colonies to the south along the Atlantic coast and also created the Hudson's Bay Company in 1670 to compete in the fur trade. This competition between France and Britain led to many conflicts. For decades, the two European powers fought for control of the land and its resources. This struggle came to a major turning point with the 7 Years' War. In 1759, the British defeated the French in a famous battle on the Plains of Abraham outside Quebec City, leading to the fall of New France. After the war, the Treaty of Paris in 1763 officially gave most of France's territories in North America to Britain. This meant that the French-speaking Catholic population of Quebec was now under British rule. To manage this new reality, the British Parliament passed the Quebec Act in 1774. This act was very important because it allowed the French Canadians to keep their language, their Catholic religion, and their system of civil law. This decision helped shape Canada's future as a country with two distinct European founding cultures, French and English. It set the stage for the bicultural and bilingual nation that Canada would eventually become. By the mid-19th century, the British colonies in North America were growing and facing new challenges. Leaders in the different colonies began to think that it would be better to join together to form a single, stronger country. They were worried about a possible invasion from the United States and wanted to build a railway to connect the colonies from east to west. After several important meetings, known as the Charlottetown and Quebec Conferences, the leaders drafted a plan for a new country. On July 1, 1867, the British North America Act was passed, creating the Dominion of Canada. Initially, it was made up of 4 provinces: Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. This event, known as Confederation, is celebrated as Canada's birthday. After Confederation in 1867, Canada began to grow. Over the following decades, more provinces and territories joined the country. Manitoba joined in 1870, followed by British Columbia in 1871, and Prince Edward Island in 1873. The vast Western Territories were organized, and in 1905, the provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan were created. The country was now connected by a transcontinental railway, which brought many new immigrants to settle the prairies. Canada's independence from Britain grew slowly over time. Canadian soldiers fought bravely for the British Empire in World War I, and their sacrifice helped Canada earn a more independent voice on the world stage. The Statute of Westminster in 1931 officially recognized Canada as a self-governing nation. The years after World War II brought huge changes to Canada. The country became more prosperous, and its cities grew rapidly. It was also a time of great social change. Canada began to welcome immigrants from all over the world, not just from Europe. This wave of immigration transformed Canadian society, making it one of the most diverse countries in the world. In 1971, Canada became the first country in the world to adopt an official policy of multiculturalism. This policy recognizes and celebrates the cultural contributions of all citizens, no matter where they come from. It encourages different ethnic groups to maintain their unique identities, languages, and traditions, creating a society often described as a cultural mosaic. This commitment to diversity and human rights was further strengthened in 1982. It was in this year that Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau patriated the Constitution, meaning Canada could now change its own constitution without needing Britain's approval. At the same time, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms was introduced. The Charter is a very important part of the Constitution that protects the fundamental rights and freedoms of all Canadians. This includes freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to equality. It has had a profound impact on Canadian law and society, ensuring that the country remains a just and inclusive place for everyone. Canada's government is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy. This means that while Canada is an independent country, the British monarch, currently King Charles III, is still the official head of state. However, the monarch's role is mostly symbolic. The real political power is held by the Prime Minister, who is the head of government. Canadians elect members to the House of Commons, which is the main lawmaking body in the capital city of Ottawa. The political party with the most elected members usually forms the government, and its leader becomes the Prime Minister. The main federal political parties include the Liberal Party, the Conservative Party, the New Democratic Party, and the Bloc Québécois. Canada's geography is incredibly vast and varied, defined by its immense size and its famous motto, A mare usque ad mare, which means from sea to sea. The country is bordered by 3 oceans, the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Pacific Ocean to the west, and the Arctic Ocean to the north. Its only land border is with the United States to the south and to the northwest with Alaska. This border is actually the longest international border in the world. Canada is divided into 10 provinces and 3 territories. The provinces are Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, and Saskatchewan. The 3 territories, located in the north, are Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and Yukon. The physical features of Canada are just as diverse as its provinces. In the west, the towering Rocky Mountains stretch through British Columbia and Alberta, offering breathtaking scenery with snow-capped peaks, turquoise lakes, and vast glaciers. East of the mountains lie the interior plains, or prairies. This huge area of flat land in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba is known for its agriculture, especially wheat farming. Moving further east, you find the Canadian Shield, a massive region of ancient rock, thin soil, and countless lakes and forests that covers much of Quebec, Ontario, and northern Manitoba and Saskatchewan. It is a storehouse of valuable minerals like gold, nickel, and copper. In central and eastern Canada, the landscape changes again. The Great Lakes St. Lawrence lowlands is the most populated region in the country. It has fertile soil that is great for farming and is home to Canada's largest cities, Toronto and Montreal. The Great Lakes themselves, Superior, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, form a massive freshwater system that Canada shares with the United States. Further east are the Appalachian Mountains, an older, more rounded mountain range that runs through Quebec and the Atlantic provinces. This region is known for its rolling hills, rugged coastlines, and charming fishing villages that dot the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. The northern part of Canada is a unique and challenging environment. The Arctic region, which includes the territories of Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and Yukon, is a land of tundra, permafrost, and sea ice. It is a vast, sparsely populated area with long, dark winters and short, cool summers. This region is home to amazing wildlife such as polar bears, caribou, and beluga whales. The Canadian Arctic Archipelago, a massive group of islands, makes up a significant portion of this northern landscape. Canada's immense and varied geography not only defines its natural beauty, but also plays a huge role in its economy, culture, and the lifestyle of its people. So, Canadian culture is really a rich tapestry, woven from Indigenous, French, British, and honestly, so many other global influences. A key aspect of our national identity is bilingualism. Canada has two official languages, English and French. While most Canadians speak English, there is a large and vibrant French-speaking population which is centered mainly in the province of Quebec. Government services, signs, and product packaging are available in both languages right across the country. But beyond those two official languages, there are actually hundreds of other languages spoken by people who have immigrated to Canada from all corners of the globe. This kind of linguistic diversity is really a reflection of the country's official policy of multiculturalism, which encourages Canadians to celebrate their diverse heritages. The arts in Canada, well, they reflect this multicultural mosaic. Canadian literature features world-renowned authors like Margaret Atwood and Alice Munro. The country's music scene is incredibly diverse too, producing international superstars in every genre, from rock artists like the Tragically Hip to pop singers like Drake and The Weeknd. Indigenous art, with its really distinctive styles in carving, painting, and storytelling, is a vital and celebrated part of Canada's cultural landscape. The Group of Seven, a famous group of Canadian painters from the early 20th century, is known for creating a distinct Canadian style of art by painting the country's rugged wilderness and landscapes. Their work really helped shape how Canadians see their own country. Now, sports are a very important part of life for many Canadians, both for watching and for playing. Ice hockey is more than just a sport in Canada, it's a national passion. From frozen ponds in small towns to giant arenas in big cities, the game is just everywhere. The National Hockey League, or NHL, features 7 Canadian teams, and children across the country dream of one day winning the Stanley Cup. Another uniquely Canadian sport is lacrosse, which was invented by Indigenous peoples and is officially recognized as Canada's national summer sport. Other popular sports include Canadian football, which has its own league, the CFL, as well as curling, baseball, basketball, and soccer, which are all growing in popularity. Canadians also come together to celebrate several important national holidays throughout the year. The biggest of these is Canada Day, on July 1st. This day marks the anniversary of Confederation in 1867 and is celebrated with parades, fireworks, concerts, and backyard barbecues across the country. Another important holiday is Thanksgiving, which is celebrated on the second Monday in October. It's a time for families to gather, share a festive meal, and give thanks for the harvest and other blessings. Victoria Day in May celebrates the birthday of Queen Victoria and unofficially marks the beginning of the summer season. Remembrance Day, on November 11th, is a more solemn occasion when Canadians pause to honor the soldiers who have fought and died for the country. Section 6. Minds and Matters, Education and Healthcare. The education system in Canada is well regarded around the world and is managed by the individual provinces and territories. This means there is no single federal education department. Instead, each province has its own Ministry of Education that sets the curriculum and standards for its schools. Education is mandatory for all children, usually starting around age 5 or 6 and continuing until they are 16 or 18, depending on the province. The public school system is free for all residents up to the end of high school. Most children in Canada attend public schools, but there are also private schools and a tradition of separate Catholic public schools in some provinces, like Ontario. After completing high school, students have many options for post-secondary education. They can choose to attend a university, a college, or a vocational institute. Canadian universities are known for their high-quality research and teaching and attract students from all over the world. Some of the most famous and highly ranked universities include the University of Toronto, McGill University in Montreal, and the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. These institutions are leaders in fields like medicine, engineering, and computer science. Colleges, on the other hand, tend to offer more practical, hands-on programs that prepare students for specific careers and trades, such as nursing, graphic design, or skilled trades. One of the most cherished aspects of Canadian society is its universal healthcare system. Often referred to as Medicare, this system is designed to ensure that all Canadian residents have access to necessary medical care, regardless of their ability to pay. It is not a single national plan, but rather a system of 13 interlocking provincial and territorial health insurance plans. The federal government provides funding and sets the national standards that each province must follow. These standards ensure that care is universal, for everyone, accessible, comprehensive, portable, and publicly administered. This means that when Canadians go to the doctor or the hospital, they show their health card instead of a credit card. While the system covers essential doctor visits and hospital care, it does not cover everything. Services like prescription drugs, dental care, and vision care are often not included in the public plan. Many Canadians have private health insurance, usually through their employers, to help cover the costs of these additional services. Despite its challenges, such as wait times for certain procedures, Canadians are very proud of their public healthcare system. They see it as a fundamental value of their country, reflecting a collective commitment to caring for one another and ensuring that health is a right, not a privilege based on wealth. Section 7. The Economic Engine, Industries and Resources. Canada has a strong and highly developed market economy, making it one of the wealthiest nations in the world. A significant part of this wealth comes from the country's incredible abundance of natural resources. Canada is a global leader in the energy sector, with vast reserves of oil, particularly in the oil sands of Alberta, as well as natural gas and hydroelectric power. The country is also one of the world's largest producers and exporters of minerals, including potash, which is used for fertilizer, as well as uranium, gold, nickel, aluminum, and diamonds. Forestry is another major industry, with Canada's vast forests providing lumber, pulp, and paper for markets around the world. These resource-based industries have long been the backbone of the Canadian economy. While natural resources are very important, Canada's economy is also highly diversified. The service sector is actually the largest part of the economy, employing about 3/4 of all working Canadians. This sector includes a wide range of jobs in areas like retail, healthcare, education, finance, and tourism. The financial industry, centered in Toronto, is particularly strong, with some of the most stable and well-regulated banks in the world. Tourism is also a significant contributor, as millions of visitors come to Canada each year to see its natural wonders and vibrant cities, creating jobs in hotels, restaurants, and transportation. Manufacturing is another key pillar of the Canadian economy, although its role has changed over the years. The heart of Canada's manufacturing industry is in Ontario and Quebec. The most important manufacturing sector is the automotive industry. Major global car companies have plants in southern Ontario where they assemble cars and produce auto parts, much of which is then exported to the United States. Aerospace is also a significant industry, especially in the Montreal area, which is a global hub for aircraft manufacturing. In addition, Canada produces a wide range of other goods, including food and beverages, machinery, and chemical products. International trade is absolutely essential to Canada's economic prosperity. As a country with a relatively small population but huge production capacity, Canada relies on selling its goods and services to other countries. Its most important trading partner by far is the United States. A huge amount of trade flows across the Canada-US border every single day, governed by a free trade agreement. Canada's main exports include energy products like oil and gas, motor vehicles and parts, minerals, lumber, and agricultural products like wheat and canola. The country is working to diversify its trade relationships and increase its exports to growing markets in Asia and Europe. Section 8. Urban hubs and natural wonders. While Canada is known for its wide open spaces, most of its population lives in cities, many of which are located in the southern part of the country near the US border. Toronto, in Ontario, is Canada's largest city and its financial capital. It is famous for being one of the most multicultural cities in the world, with over half of its population born outside of Canada. You can hear hundreds of languages spoken on its streets and taste food from every corner of the globe. Toronto is home to the iconic CN Tower, major sports teams, and a thriving arts and culture scene. It's a dynamic, fast-paced city that truly represents the modern Canadian mosaic. Montreal, located in Quebec, is Canada's second-largest city and the largest French-speaking city in North America outside of Paris. It offers a unique blend of North American energy and European charm. The city is famous for its historic Old Montreal district with its cobblestone streets, its lively art scene, and its incredible food, from bagels and smoked meat to high-end cuisine. Montreal is a hub of creativity and culture, hosting world-famous festivals like the Montreal International Jazz Festival and the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. It has a vibrant artistic spirit that makes it a truly special place to visit. On the Pacific Coast, Vancouver is celebrated for its stunning natural setting. The city is nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the Coast Mountains, offering a lifestyle where you can ski in the morning and go to the beach in the afternoon. It is a major port and a gateway to Asia, which contributes to its diverse population and culture. Vancouver is known for its focus on outdoor activities, its beautiful parks like Stanley Park, and its thriving film and television production industry, which has earned it the nickname Hollywood North. The city's combination of urban sophistication and spectacular natural beauty makes it consistently ranked as one of the most livable cities in the world. Beyond its big cities, Canada's identity is deeply connected to its incredible natural environment. The country has an extensive system of national and provincial parks designed to protect its diverse ecosystems for future generations. Banff National Park in the Alberta Rockies was Canada's first national park and is world famous for its majestic mountains and turquoise lakes. The country's climate is as varied as its geography, ranging from temperate rainforests on the west coast to humid continental climates in the east and harsh Arctic conditions in the north. Recognizing the threat of climate change, Canada has committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions and is investing in clean energy and conservation efforts to protect its precious natural heritage. Section 9. Canada on the World Stage and Fun Facts. Canada plays an active and respected role in global affairs. It is known for its commitment to multilateralism, which means working together with other countries through international organizations to solve global problems. Canada was a founding member of the United Nations and has a long history of contributing to UN peacekeeping missions around the world. Canadian diplomat Lester B. Pearson even won the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in creating the concept of modern peacekeeping during the Suez Crisis in 1956. This legacy has earned Canada a reputation as a middle power that tries to be a peaceful and constructive force in the world. The country is also a member of several important international groups. It is part of the G7, a group of the world's largest advanced economies, where it discusses global economic and political issues. Canada is also a member of the G20, the Commonwealth of Nations, and NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a military alliance of North American and European countries. Through these organizations, Canada works on issues like international security, free trade, human rights, and environmental protection. Its foreign policy often focuses on promoting democracy, supporting international development, and providing humanitarian aid to countries in crisis. To wrap up our journey through Canada, here are a few fun and surprising facts about this vast country. Canada has the longest coastline of any country in the world, bordering 3 different oceans. It is also home to more lakes than all other countries in the world combined. A huge portion of the world's fresh water is located within its borders. A fun geographic quirk is that there is a small part of the United States called Point Roberts, Washington, that you can only get to by land by driving through Canada first. Also, the residents of Churchill, Manitoba, leave their cars unlocked in case their neighbors need to make a quick escape from a polar bear. And finally, some classic Canadian trivia. The national animal of Canada is the beaver, a symbol of the country's historic fur trade. While many people associate Canada with maple syrup, and Canada does produce over 70% of the world's supply, the popular sport of basketball was actually invented by a Canadian named James Naismith in 1891. From its ancient indigenous roots to its modern multicultural cities, and from its stunning natural landscapes to its role as a peaceful global partner, Canada is a country of incredible depth and diversity, with a story that is always unfolding. There is always something new to discover in the Great White North.